Welcome to your next project, the color wheel. So in your packet you have a handout that looks like this. It has the color wheel on it and directions on how to make the color wheel. You do not have to follow these. They require a compass and a protractor. Instead we can take a shorter route and trace it. So I have a light table here and I can see through to trace this. You're going to be using the larger square that was in your envelope. If you don't have this, a piece of computer paper will work just fine as well. So I have my large square. I'm putting it over my copy of the color wheel. And if you don't have a light table, you can easily put this up against a window and it'll do the same thing. So I'm going to take my time and I'm going to trace over these circles. So I have the inner circle and then the larger circle. And then I want to make sure I get all those dividers in as well. I'm going to go around, trace all those, and then the numbers, because these will help me later. And you can trace these lightly, go over it darker later. If you want to make it look neater, you can go back over the lines with your Sharpie if you want. So now that I've traced that, I don't need the light table anymore, or you can take it off the window, and I have my color wheel. First thing I'm going to do is put your name in the center, and we can start. To help us though, we have these numbers. The 1 represents primary colors, the 2 are secondary colors, and the 3 are tertiary colors. But just to help us so we don't fill the wrong colors in, we can also label the color wheel. So first we'll do our primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Next are secondary colors, so the colors that you mix to make the secondary color in between red and yellow is orange. Yellow and blue will make green. And red and blue will make purple or violet. So now we have our primary and our secondary colors labeled. In between each of our primary and secondary colors is a tertiary, and it is a mixture of those two colors. So in between red and orange is red-orange. In between orange and yellow is orange-yellow. In between yellow and green, you guessed it, yellow-green. In between green and blue, blue-green. In between blue and purple, bluish-purple. In between purple and red, we have purple-red. Now we can begin to color our color wheel in for the first part of this project. You have received red, yellow, and blue colored pencils in your envelope as well. It'll be tempting if you do have other colored pencils. You have, a whole pack of colored pencils. It'd be tempting just to go in here and find red, orange, and find green. But we're going to use just the primaries. The point of this color wheel is to learn how to blend color to create new colors. So in your envelope you received red, yellow, and blue. If you don't have the original ones I sent home with you, you're more than welcome to use any red, yellow, blue color pencils you already have, but only use these 3. So if you want, you can first go around and start to fill in your primary colors. Those are the easiest because those are the color pencils you have. So when I am coloring in a shape with these, I try not to color too heavily at first because you can't blend once you burnish the paper. So burnishing is when you've pressed really hard and you flatten the paper. So you want to start a little lighter. But with my primary colors, I can probably go a little dark fast because I know I don't need to blend any color into these. Now that I filled in all my primary colors, the 1s, I'm going to work on the 2s. Those are my secondary colors. So between red, and yellow. I have orange. So I'm gonna work on building up these colors to create orange. So this is when I don't want to color too hard at first because the paper won't be able to receive the pigment from the colored pencils. So I want to start light. And I like to color with circles and ovals, making sure I'm going back over the spots that I just went over. So I want to put a base coat of red down, and now I want to start to put some yellow over on top of that. And just like with paint, I can do the same thing, and I can blend red and yellow to get the orange. I might need to go back over it again with the red, so I'm going to continue to go light, and maybe I'm going to change my direction of my hatch marks to get some more coverage. Neatness counts, stay in the lines, and try to get one color within this whole block here. So I'm going to work on this orange. After that, I'm going to move to my green using yellow and blue, and then I'm going to move to my purple using my red and my blue. So let's see how that comes out. Here you can see I worked on these two tertiaries. So I have my red-orange and my orange-yellow. So there is a difference between these. I have my pure red here, a little bit of yellow in here to start to build up to an orange, and then my pure orange here, and then my orange that has a little more yellow. So that's my yellow, my orange-yellow, and then going into my yellow. So now from here, I'm going to keep the yellow and pick up the green and make a yellow-green, and then go around the color wheel till I've completed all my tertiaries. Remember to build the layers up lightly, and then you might find that when you've finished one, I found that my orange wasn't orange enough, so I had to go back in here with a little more yellow and a little more red on here to create a difference between these two. And then a little more red in here to create a difference between the yellow and the orange-yellow. So once you've finished, you might want to go back in and tweak some of the tertiaries or your secondaries. You may need to build them up a little more. So work light, leave it open, don't color too hard because once again you'll burnish the paper, and it'll be a flat shiny surface. It'll be hard for the pencil to leave pigment on the paper. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's complete. So I finished up my color wheel. I went into all the threes and did my tertiary colors. So remember, when you're working on those, build the values up lightly. Try to blend to make differences in between those colors. Once again, the purple area is going to get a little muddy with these colored pencils. They don't blend as well as paint would, but you can still get a purplish hue, and you can try to get to a reddish purple and a purpley blue, blending those, the red and the blues together. Once again, they will look a little muddy, that's okay, but try to get some different colors in here. If you have to go back in, maybe you might need to add a little more blue to make this less red, maybe a little more red to make this less blue, and get a good 50-50 split on all of your secondaries. So try it out. If you have any questions, please email, and then this will be uploaded in your project gallery for the color wheel, part 1 of this project. Enjoy, take your time. It won't look right till the very end. You can also use a Sharpie if you want and go back over your lines, your numbers, and neaten it up and neaten your letters up, but that's completely optional. It did for me cover a couple places where I went out of the lines, so I used the Sharpie to make it look neater. So have fun, enjoy, I look forward to seeing them.